Hello, everyone. Welcome to Weekend Sports, and it's college football time. Michigan this week, past week, it's rivalry week, the past week, ended up beating Maryland 45-20. A great game from Michigan. They move up to 15, which is very, very close to the college football playoff. In general, I think if Michigan can pull out the win against Ohio State, they will be in the college football playoff. Potentially, they will definitely be talked about. A high seed, though, be like 10th, because obviously you can't be 12, might be even 11. But regardless, we're talking about the Maryland game. They played really well. Underwood was 16 for 23 for 250 yards, 2 TDs. They ran for 228. Underwood ran for 20, but their main production came out of Bryson Kisdell. He ran for 100 yards, got 3 TDs. And it was a good game from Michigan in that sense. Maryland themselves, their QB was 19 for 39, had 1 TD, 1 interception. They also ran for 71 yards. But in general, Michigan played a really good game, some good momentum to build off going into this week against Ohio State, which probably shouldn't be wearing red for this video, but whatever. They're going to obviously give Ohio State the advantage in this game. They're actually giving them way more advantage than I think they should. 11.5-point favorites. They're also giving Ohio State a 78% chance to win this game. If we know anything from last year, so probably the worst Michigan team possible to beat Ohio State. Now, as a realistic football fan in general, because I with not being that big of a college football fan, I don't see Michigan beating Ohio State this year. I do not. Realistically, you probably are going to lose. You can't win every single year. And they won the past 4. Though you're coming to Ann Arbor, and the fun thing that could happen this year is it could be during a snowstorm, which probably changes the whole dynamic of this game. And if it's going to go more towards a rushing attack, it might favor the Wolverines more if it ends up being more on the rushing side. It might. Again, I haven't really watched too much college football, but honestly, I feel like there is a very, very high chance this could favor Michigan in the sense of the weather-wise, with the chance of it being snowy at that time. We'll see, though, what ends up fully happening for Michigan in this one. It's also very important for Michigan because if they win this and Indiana loses, or Oregon, well, really, if Oregon loses and Ohio State loses, Michigan is in the Big Ten championship. Only possible way they can be in it is if Ohio State, they beat Ohio State and Oregon loses to Washington. Probably not happening. Definitely not a combination of that. Maybe Michigan beats Ohio State, but Oregon doesn't beat Washington. Regardless, the national championship will either feature Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon, or Michigan. No other way it can be featured. Well, most likely going to be Ohio State, Indiana, and Indianapolis, which will be pretty interesting. But this is going to be an interesting game to watch. Sadly, I'm working this Saturday, so I can't watch the game in real time. But I definitely will be keeping an eye on it for the fact of how important this game is going to be. Moving on to Michigan State, though. And again, we're kind of at the end of our season with Michigan State. Not much hope with them. They lost this week 20-17. Not the greatest game. Childs, I believe, did not play at all this game. He said they had Milovic Juvic, or whatever his name is. He threw for 255, 2 DDs and interception. Doesn't seem like that bad of an offensive stat. He only ran for 80 yards, though, while the QB also took minus 11 yards in rushing. So some poor sacks were in there. But in general, if your QB is playing like that and you can get some more stuff going, you might be in a better spot in the future. Childs obviously isn't going to be playing anymore, and that is that for him. But for the most part, Michigan State needs to probably end the season on a high note. Will they? We shall see. They're playing Maryland. I think Michigan State has to figure out a rival outside of Michigan and kind of build off of that to go play the end of the year, because they always play someone different at the end of every single year. So they got to figure out a more consistent rival to play at the end of the year to try and build up to that, because we don't have that at all for Michigan State. But in general, hopefully they can build off some energy, get a late season win. You're not going to have a bowl game, but maybe you can get a late season win to kind of push you into next year with some momentum. I'm going to end it here, though. If you like to see, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the college football landscape and where Michigan could be sitting at the end of all this. But you see, no like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, we'll see everybody soon.